So day 57.
Of the 29th year and beyond.
Alrighty, so on day 56 we talked about are you listening? And it's such a meaty topic. Of course, we're continuing it for day 57. And just to kind of recap, we were talking about listening, being intentional about listening, and that's something that everybody, I believe, has to work on, no matter how well you think you do it. But I think that it's something that has to be intentional. And what I shared is not only do I pay attention to made the distinction between hearing and listening,
right.
Because if you're in a crowded room, you can hear a lot of things. You can overhear people, but you're not listening, right? Mm-hmm. So even though there's conversations going on other places and, you hear cars going by and all that, you're not listening. You want to be fully attentive to the person that you're communicating with or that you're attempting to communicate with. And, but I said, for Gail and I don't just pay attention to what she's saying, trying to listen to what she's saying. I'm also paying attention to vocal tonality. I'm paying attention to body language. I'm trying to listen for her heart.
Right, and you said also that you're listening for, or you try to understand
what's the motivation.
The motivation
right.
of what the person is saying. And I think that's really key, because I think a lot of times when, especially females, when we're trying to express ourselves and we're trying to say what we're feeling, a lot of times the feelings come from a lot of different emotions. They could be from 7 or 8, 9, 10 different times that something affected us, but we didn't say anything. A lot of times, because females, we try to smooth things over, keep things comfortable, we'll hold things in. But then when we're trying to explain or trying to say something to you, you're taking it from just that one moment, as opposed to what the entire tonality is of what I was saying.
Isn't it a novel idea? If she blows her mind because I burnt the toast, how am I supposed to know? It's also about when I didn't take my shoes off and when I didn't, all this other stuff. So, but all jokes aside, that's why it is really key to address whatever the concerns, the issues, the challenges are, but also to pay attention to everything. What's being said, clearly, but then how is it being said? And also trying to determine what's not being said that is still being conveyed.
And that's one of the things that I know that I have to work on, because, and I had to work on, I should say, now that I've really put a lot of effort into listening to what people are saying. Because you ever talking to somebody and they go, they heard absolutely nothing. Well, I shouldn't say they heard you. They just weren't listening.
They weren't listening.
And that's the difference. I mean, if you're going, and you just go, what are you really hearing?
Well, it's possible that one may be taking things in. However.
Male-dominated society that I work in, okay, chefs, they, and 10 minutes later.
Well, and this is where the one who is communicating, making the attempt to communicate, I think that it's incumbent upon you to make certain that the message that you want to convey is the message that's being heard.
Right.
Right? And so not like you're in a therapy session, what I hear you saying is, but you want to make certain that the message is loud and clear.
Yes.
Not necessarily loud, so you don't raise your voice.
Exactly.
You raise your argument.
Yes, and your awareness of what they're saying. Yeah. Because what I like to say is, so you heard me say that I need you to do A, B, and C. So what did I say? Just repeat something back to me, because a lot of times they just don't, they're not hearing you.
So let me ask you this. When you have shared things with me, how are you certain that I've heard you? What lets you know that I have heard you?
Because I'll say to you, because you'll say, okay, so you said this, and this. You'll repeat back what I said. You give me some key points instead of just going, and then move on. It's like somebody watching TV and you're talking to them, like he said yesterday. You're watching TV and they're not really paying attention to what you're saying. That's the difference.
So whatever works for you as a couple,
Yes.
to make certain that whatever is being communicated has been communicated. Just understand that it's not just being able to regurgitate what has been said,
Right.
but then the action as well.
Exactly.
The action as well. So, there's 3 A's, I believe: awareness, action, and then accountability.
Yay, that was good.
Absolutely. You want to make certain that the person is aware, then you're going to pay attention to the action after you've communicated, and then hold them accountable to whatever it was that needed to happen. Our time is
Perfect.
up.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.